Hello and welcome back to my F122 My Team Career Mode, the final season before the next F123 game comes out. This is part 29, episode 29, whatever. So last episode we took a win in Bahrain and double points finish, first time in the team. Finally on season 3 we get both of us in the points, me and Carlos Sainz. So yes, and it was Bahrain last episode. This episode is Jeddah. We're going to the streets of Saudi Arabia. So what you just saw was all the, the development boosts and the R&D points that we earned from our free practice session. And with all those points, I am going to make an upgrade. It looks like I'm going to make an upgrade to the aerodynamics, the front wing main plane, I guess just the part on the front wing. So yes, and now we are left with 1,669 points. That's not enough for anything else, so we are just going to be going into the qualifying session. We have nothing else left to do, so here's qualifying now. I think my setup should be loaded from what I used from practice, so I don't think I'm gonna show it either, but if you wanna find the setup, I guess you could just go to my season 1 race. I'm sure I showed the setup there, or you just look online. That's what I did. I found it online, did some minor tweaks, but that's just adjustments for my liking. So we are now heading into the qualifying lap. I guess I just be quiet and we'll go straight into the race.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves once again of our top 3. So here we are then, welcoming you today to one of the jewels of the Arab world, Jeddah. One of the biggest cities in Saudi Arabia, second only to Riyadh, gateway to Mecca, and one of the biggest ports in the region. And now, host to the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Russell, Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel and Albon, Verstappen, Théo Pourchaire, Ocon and Daniel Ricciardo, Bottas, Gasly, Oscar Piastri and Sainz, Joe, Magnussen, Hughes and Mick Schumacher, Schwartzman, Stroll, Latifi and Yuki Tsunoda. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. Ant, it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Here we go then, the formation lap is underway and the track temperature looks warm. That may or may not play into some of the team's hands in today's race. As the cars come back towards the grid to line up for the start of the race, each driver will be wanting to get the best start they possibly can. And they'll be hoping to finish today's race on the podium, failing that, within the points.
Alright, that is the formation lap over. As you saw, we qualified P17. Not our best qualifying, but let's see if we can hope to make up some positions and get into the points this race. So it's 5 lights and on the way we go. Get a pretty bad start. Our previous teammate, Mick Schumacher, is right behind us and he makes a dive bomb. And we also got Robert Schwartzman in the Haas make a dive bomb on the outside, which had some contact, but I don't think we had any damage. And I overtake Joe going into turn 2, I think. The Joe in the Alfa Romeo for P17. So we just end up in the same position we started in. But our old teammate, Mick Schumacher, which is now in the AlphaTauri, he is right in front of us while we go wide into that turn. Going into this little, I don't even know what to call it, this banked corner, I guess. And we do lose some time to Mick while Joe is gaining on us, which is not a good thing because we are basically at the very end. I think Carlos Sainz did better than us in qualifying, so he should at least try to aim for some points, and let's just hope we can aim for the points. So P17 just 7 places away from points to see if we can get that back while we're onto this back straight, or not really straight, but we have this left-hander. But as you can see, Joe is on the outside. You see going, we bang tires a little, try to cover the outside, I think, and we do keep that position. There's Mark just telling us. I asked him if we had any damage. It looks like we didn't sustain any damage from the turn 1 incident or that last turn incident. And this is the end of lap 2. Nothing happened. So I'm right on the heels of Mick Schumacher. DRS just now got enabled, but not for that straight, obviously. It looks like Mick Schumacher broke his front wing into the Aston of Kevin Magnussen. But we did overtake Schumacher to see if we can get Magnussen as well. So that ends up us in P16. I think our old teammate, he's going to have to make a pit stop this lap because he is missing, I guess, his front right wing plate. Yeah, the end plate, whatever it's called, you know, the thing on the covers the side. So I think he's going to make a pit stop. It looks like Joe hasn't overtaken him, so maybe that damage didn't lose him that much, isn't losing him that much time. But on this DRS, I think it should be coming up soon. We will get DRS from Magnussen. so which is good, but he's still pulling away. I should have used more ERS. I'm currently at like 90%, so looking back, I probably would have. And we are also going to be getting DRS on this straight, or this long left-hander. And looks like it is a little train forming with the Bottas leading it with these 3 cars, and then there's a tiny gap to Carlos Sainz from Bottas. And heading into the main turn 1 straight, we are going to get DRS as well. It looks like Zhou and Stroll just overtook Mick, so I'm sure he is in the pits now. And this little gaggle of cars is making them lose a lot of time, which allows me to go down the outside of Kevin Magnussen. And then there's Bottas and Piastri fighting. Let's hope we can overtake Bottas, because he just went down a position to P14, but nothing happened in lap 4, so we're just going to be heading into lap 5, which is our pit window. We took pit for some medium, and heading into turn 1, I go down, go into the braking zone, try to see if I can make a move on Bottas. Obviously didn't happen, so I just try to follow him throughout all these turns, and Piastri is still in front of him. So, but he's on some medium, so hopefully, I guess my softs technically should be better, but I don't know what there's now time to pit, so they may be worn down. But Bottas goes up in a plume of smoke, so I'm guessing he has an engine retirement or whatever, DNF. So I will be getting that position without having to fight him. So I'm now P14, just 4 more positions from the points, and it looks like I will get DRS from Piastri, so I haven't lost that much time to him actually. And the car in front of Piastri is my teammate Carlos Sainz down in P12. So let's see, we can work some magic, bring up the pace. Well, as I say that, I run wide on that turn, but this lap has been pretty good, except for that little mistake. We set green sector 1, sector 2, and it looks like Magnussen is trying to fight us down into the last turn. Covered the outside just like I did with Zhou, but he tried to go down my inside, which didn't work, and I'm now heading into the pits, and it looks like Magnussen isn't going to be pitting, but Stroll is. It looks like all the front runners are now just finishing up with their pit stops, while all the back runners are now just getting into the pits like me. And I'm surprised they didn't box Carlos Sainz. I think we could have double stacked, but I guess the team doesn't want to risk that. He was only like 4 seconds ahead of me, so maybe the double stack wouldn't have worked, but I don't know. So after getting out of the pits, now we end up P15. So actually we didn't lose that many places. What were we? We were P14 before the pit stop, so not that bad. And I'm just gonna be trying to warm up my tires, trying not to crash into anything, and I just skip ahead because nothing happens. The tires are warmed up now, and yeah, as we complete this lap, we should be seeing the second round of pit stops people, which makes us gain a position. So I think the undercut has worked for this race, because we were P14 before any pit stops, but after all the pit stops we're now P12, so we gained 2 positions just from doing the undercut. Looks like I'm going to gain 1 more on Albon. I'm pretty close to him, and Albon is doing some things in the Alpine team. He's doing pretty good. His pace is actually really good for an Alpine. So yeah, Albon made a good move to move from the Williams to the Alpine. Looks like, speaking of the Williams, right in front of Albon, we have Pierre Gasly in the Williams. And speaking of Albon, I'm going to overtake Albon going into turn 2, or going the exit of turn 2. Now we are P11, just 1 more position away from the points. I skip ahead a little just to get to the action of me overtaking Pierre Gasly, and it looks like he also broke his front wing. That's kind of my bad. That dive bomb was pretty bad. I think Gasly is going to have to make a pit stop, and let's see. Yeah, he heads into the pits now, which that's my fault. I probably should have got a time penalty. I don't know why the FIA did it. While I say that, I'm overtaking Ricardo and Verstappen. I think some of the fastest car on the grid, the Ferrari and the Red Bull. And a pretty easy work going into down turn. I guess that was turn 3. Turn 3. I think, I'm pretty sure. And to turn 3, I overtook Ricardo. So turn 1 was Verstappen, turn 3 was Ricardo. So we overtook basically some of the fastest car on the grid. And we just have our teammate in front of him. And I think we just keep it like this. I don't think I could go anymore because Teo Pourchaire, another 6. Is it 6 or 4? I'm not sure. I never understood the timing charts on the top left. But yeah, we have Teo Pourchaire in the other Ferrari in front of our teammates. So even like if Carlos Sainz let me pass, I don't think I could bring that gap down in 3 laps. So I'll just try to have to look behind me at Ricardo, who is steadily gaining. He's 2/10 behind, and I'm sure he has DRS, obviously. And is he gonna try to make a move down the outside, cover it a little, not moving under braking? That would be bad. I didn't do that, pretty sure. But yeah, extend the gap to half a second, so pretty good. I just try to have to defend from some of the fast car on the grid. It looks like Verstappen and Ricardo are fighting, which is a good thing, making them lose time to me. See, the gap easily extended to 1 second after they started fighting. So let's see. Yeah, the gap to Carlos Sainz is just staying steady, like 2.2 seconds. So I think this is the best result me and Carlos could get for the team this week. P7, P8. No, not a win like Bahrain. So yeah, we'll just have to try to improve for next race, which I'm not sure what it is, but yeah. So we're just heading into the final lap now. Skipping along to all the sector times, and we set a 33.965 for sector 1, and for sector 2 we set a 103.529. And then the end of sector 3, which is just the end of the lap, is, well, it'll show. But as you can see, Ricardo tried to overtake me last lap, last turn dive ball for P8, but I cover off the inside into the last turn. Ricardo and the Ferrari tried to overtake us. So it looks like we are going to be P8, and then Carlos Sainz in front of us, P7. And we got driver of the day, which is pretty good. I mean, he doesn't score us any more points. I guess it's just a good thing to have. It looks like our main team, the main McLaren team, won this race. Lando Norris. And it looks like Lewis Hamilton's on the podium, P3. P2 I didn't get a chance to see. But yeah, pretty good for our main team, but we just need to keep working on our car so we could possibly be in the fight with them. So we get a race. It looks like Charles Leclerc and the Red Bull was the P2. So we got Norris, Leclerc, Hamilton, Russell, Vettel, Pourchaire, Sainz, me, Ricardo, Verstappen, Ocon, Albon, Magnussen, Stroll, Piastri, Tsunoda, Schumacher, Zhou, Latifi, Gasly, Schwartzman, and Bottas. And then in the standings, we moved down to P2. We were previously P1. Carlos Sainz still is P8. He has 10 points. Let's see, where's our old teammate Mick Schumacher? He still has 0 points. Constructors, we dropped down all the way to 4th. We were 1st. Looks like our main McLaren team beat us. They are P1, and Lando Norris and the main McLaren team beat me and the drivers. So let's see who will come out on top, the main team or our team. It looks like Ocon is currently beating us in the what's it called, the rivalry. So that's not good either. So overall this weekend, even though we scored points, both me and Carlos, it was not a good weekend. We could have had the win. I'm not sure if our qualifying could have been better. I mean, it was all lost time in sector 3. pretty sure our sector 1 is sector 2. We were up there in like the top 5, but then as soon as the sector 3 hit, it probably was a straight line speed thing, but we just lost all of our time, which put us down all the way to, was it P18, P17? I don't know. But when you just saw, we were just choosing our activities, and it looks like an upgrade for weight reduction in the chassis failed, so I had to redo that. I previously had 2,000 points, 2,000 something points, but now I only have 1,300. And then I was checking the powertrain. Apparently everything I can upgrade, I need a spec 3 powertrain, so I think I'm going to be making a facility upgrade to the powertrain soon. Hopefully, if I don't make any mistakes. Like in the season 3 prep, I easily could have made the facility spec 3, but I accidentally spent money elsewhere. So let's see what I do now. And I made a mistake. I thought I bought the wrong thing. Like, apparently I bought resource point generation for aerodynamics instead of making my powertrain facility spec 3. That's totally my bad. So this, I'll just have to raise, I don't know, 8 million. How much is it for spec 3? But join us next episode. It will be the Australian Grand Prix. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. Thank you for 190. Get us to 195. We're getting up there.